Oh, it's probably because I haven't actually started streaming anything yet.
Oh,
okay. Hello everybody. This is Shake of the Shaketh and Stirred, and it is another wonderful day here in the neighborhood. Just as an FYI, we are doing the murder podcast again, so there is a content warning of nasty things, horrible things, and things that most people will not want to hear or listen to. It has to do with gore, violence, some necrophilia, etc.
Sexual assault.
All right. Basically, just think of trigger warnings and go from there. All right. Well, have fun watching. And what?
Why don't you start playing?
Okay.
I'll come in a minute.
Okay. So this is Viscera Cleanup. The actual game, the actual podcast will start in a few minutes. I've got my sister Quinn here. Go ahead and say hi, Quinn.
Hey guys, Quinn, also known as Shouted Sin. If you ever look me up, I'm mostly here to provide witty banter and background stuff for the reaction level to watching our cats trying to destroy everything in our house.
Alright, and I am his wife, Kat, and I'm going to tell you about a horrific man named Dennis Andrew Nilsen.
You should probably explain how we're related, though.
Oh, sorry, we had the same parents.
This is Kat, my wife.
And I'm Kat's big sister, Quinn, just to clarify.
Yeah, she is my biological sister.
The best one.
The best biological sister.
Okay.
Alright, so...
Murder stuff.
Murder porn. So, Dennis Nilsen was a famous Scottish serial killer. I believe he died in, 2018. He, pulmonary embolism or something like that got him. But...
Hey, do you want to grab the...
Basically, in the late 70s, early 80s...
1 second. Squish, get out of out of there! Your cat
cats.
was literally laying down
He would
in the bed.
strangle and murder and then keep the bodies of young men. Yeah, just keep them beneath the floorboards. Super gross when you think about it. So, let's go back to his childhood. He actually had a decent childhood.
Boys. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to be saying a few things because I'm corralling the dog as we prepare our murder feast. No human included.
Oh, yeah, this time there will be no cannibalism. He didn't eat people, he just kept them. So, he was born in November 1945 in Fraserburgh, Aberdeenshire. So, he was the middle child. He had an older brother, Olaf Jr., and a younger sister, Sylvie. His parents were Elizabeth White and Olaf Magnus Mucksheim, who then adopted the surname Nilsen when he immigrated to Scotland permanently.
I mean, I would adopt this name Nilsen if my last name was Muckshine.
Mucksheim it's such a great, it speaks of sturdiness. Like a good
And I'm pretty sure that there is a linguistic thing we're making fun of here, but for those of us in America who love to make fun of indigenous names and other things.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
So basically, his dad was a part of the Free Norwegian Forces following Germany's occupation. You guys remember when that happened, the whole German thing? Occupying Norway, genocide. So basically, his dad joined the army after that and was part of Norway's Free Forces and was stationed in Scotland where he met Elizabeth, Dennis's mom.
Cheers.
No, thank you. So, this guy doesn't take marriage seriously. He never moves them out of the parents' house, never takes the marriage seriously, doesn't do anything special, and eventually the mom, Elizabeth, gets sick of him because he's just some deadbeat guy who's being her the free way. Joke's on him. There's 3 children, though. So she divorces him with the blessing of her parents, who were very pious, actually. And they are officially divorced in 1948, just 3 years after Dennis was born. And his earliest memories don't actually involve his biological father. They mainly involve his brother, his sister, and his grandparents. And he describes his upbringing as very pious and cold.
I thought you were about to go, and he was brought up by his mother, and I'm like, look, it's the Ed Gein trilogy, continued next. And when are we going to talk about the guy that fucked his dead mother's skull?
That's not this one.
Mm-mm.
You said that,
Sorry, there'll be no mom fucking. Dennis was gay. Might be some attempted molesting of the brother, though.
Which of these sodas?
I think we're good right now.
Mm.
So
I'm wondering which one is mine. Did I not order it?
So Dennis is only filled with joy when upon the shoulders of his maternal grandfather.
Or, you know, with a nice hard penis in his hands.
No, he was a self-hating gay.
Oh.
Yeah. And his grandfather dies.
What?
His grandfather dies in 51, so divorce, no dad.
I got wedges. Like plain wedges.
Gets to live.
Did you get mini tacos?
With his mom and his grandparents and then grandpa on Halloween. People.
Did you get curly fries?
I am trying to do a podcast and y'all bitches won't shut up about curly fries.
Don't block the microphone.
Okay.
Are these your curly fries?
Did I get a drink?
Yes.
Huh?
Did I get a drink at all?
I got
you
curly
and I got
fries.
a drink. You got these are your curly fries. You and I both got a drink.
I don't know which one is
You both did
Mine's
orange.
a tea.
Yours a tea?
Oh my god.
We're also eating. Because we're hungry.
Here's yours.
I think that's mine.
Take it.
Okay, so what was his name again? Tim Nelson? Thomas Nelson?
Dennis Nilsen.
Because I did a quick Google on Nelson something serial killer, and I found another guy with the last name Nelson. That also was a serial killer. See if I can find this.
Well, I mean, if you had the last name Nelson, I would kill people too.
But I typed in gay serial killer, and I got this guy from the 1920s.
Definitely was not born yet.
I would hazard to say.
Oh, never mind. I got someone. I got Dennis
Same
Nelson.
person. Oh, I'm gonna want to get
But anyway, so his grandfather died.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I feel like this
At
is
sea, while he was fishing, he just had a heart attack, dead. And you know what the fishermen do? They're like, let's bring the body back and fish it out of the fucking ocean. And then the mom's like, hey, everybody, want to see Grandpa?
Yeah,
and they show the children the dead body.
Not just the dead body, like the crab-riddled dead body.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, like...
You ever seen death, children? Well, that is it.
So, basically, when interviewed by the police, he describes his grandfather's death as being the moment he lost all joy in life.
Wow. I mean, I would lose all joy in life, too, if my grandpapa died at sea.
Like, okay, we all have our grandparents die. Eventually. We don't go on to murder 15 people. Attempting more.
I mean, I'm not sure about you, but when Grandpa Harry died, I totally, as a 12-year-old, murdered tons of people.
Me too.
I can see it.
When your grandfather died, I went and I murdered a bunch of people. Didn't even know why.
Oh, sorry, did I mention that the mom went on to have 4 more kids? That's 7 children.
Were they Catholic?
I don't know. But they were pious. And she remarried because the parents hated Olav Sr. that much that they were like, divorce him.
Olag or Olav?
Olav.
Sounds Russian.
Yeah, are you actually watching the stream over there?
Yeah.
You have to click on it.
I have to click on it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I clicked on it.
We have one
So-
viewer right now.
Yeah, that's me. So, go on to have more kids, and all he can think about is basically getting out of there. He hates his brother. He's oddly attracted to his sister, thinks he might be bisexual, or he's gay, and his sister's just at that age where she doesn't resemble any gender yet.
Or he's one of those weird people.
Or he's one of those weird people who's attracted to people he's related to. And basically just doesn't want to be there. So he decides he is going to enlist into the British Army as a way to escape this pious, horrific cult life that he
Still not
claims
Can I
he
have my
has.
tea?
He is still not as fucked up
Can I have a
as...
straw for my tea?
He is still not as messed up as Caligula. Little Boots. You know the guy who
That's a high bar. Caligula is a high bar for
fucked
messed
his own
up.
sister, fucked his mother.
Beat his pregnant wife to death, and then was like, "The servant boy looks like my wife. I'm gonna
Wasn't-
marry him."
And then there was Nero, who was probably one of the under, 2 young children that were completely abused and used out by Emperor Tiberius. Hello, everybody, to the new podcast, Roman Pedophilia.
I don't want that to be my podcast.
Oh.
No, but I'm just gonna make a point that this seems to be a thing with murdery people. The whole "let's not do this" seems to be a thing. Besides murder.
That's fair.
Murder! Fuck your sister.
Oh, dear
He
God.
didn't. He thought about molesting her. There's a difference. I don't
Alright,
want to go
here's-
into it.
Here's something you need to think about.
He might have molested her, and he might have molested his brother, both in their sleep. Allegedly. I cannot confirm this, so I must say allegedly.
Dear God. What if you just, tuned in and you heard that?
Hello, today, welcome to the
I
new...
personally would tune back out. Okay, so he decides to go into the army as a chef. And he has actually a really good career. The army lifestyle, minus being, gay, was really good for him. He excelled at it. People looked up to him. He would get blackout drunk and fall asleep on people's beds to try to get them to take advantage of him. So he wasn't the one initiating it, but the army treated him well.
I have multiple problems.
he-
I want you to molest me as I'm roofing myself.
Basically,
How many fucked up levels does this man have?
it gets worse.
Of course it does.
It gets much worse.
I actually read a little bit about this guy. This is the Scottish guy, right?
Yeah, the Scottish guy.
Yeah, I read a little bit about it too, and, well, I'm freaked out by it.
Man would hate Dandy Raisins.
Don't worry, we haven't even got into the painting he references.
He wouldn't like Dandy
And-
Raisins, but he would love Dandy Sausages.
We like to call those little smokies.
He would probably have a bunch of those in a can somewhere. For dear Papa!
So basically, he joins the catering corps, and he spends 3 years in training and describes those as the best of his life, wishes he could go back to them, yada yada yada. Gets passed out drunk on people's, beds. And eventually, he starts traveling with the army. He ends up going different places, and he starts exploring his sexuality more. He's not taking people home, but he has accepted he's gay at this point, and, does himself in the showers when nobody else is there.
Yep.
Like staring at his own bod, because,
That's
if I
really
don't,
narcissistic.
no. Don't worry, the mirror cuts off his head, so it's not him. It's just him.
Wow. Did he actually think that the mirror cut off his head?
Yeah, he poses with dead bodies later and takes pictures, so yeah, he did.
Spoiler!
Spoiler alert!
Spoilers.
He buys a Polaroid, guys.
God.
So he'd start having basically these fantasies about people being, you know, always a young man, always slender, always kind of elfish looking, being completely passive and taking advantage of them as he's looking in the mirror and, you know, diddling himself in his room in private. And then eventually the fantasies go from, oh, he's passive, to, oh, he's unconscious, and then next step, they're dead. So he's like, I'm gonna diddle the dead.
It's a big step.
It's a big step. Don't worry, he doesn't do it till he's out of the army, because he respects
I don't know why,
that.
but when you said that, I had the self-image of John Green, who likes to describe sex as scootily pooping, the doodly pooping.
No, not the doodly pooping.
Not the doodly pooping.
But seriously, what is it up with
So-
serial killers fucking your sister, fucking the dead?
I mean, he never had sex. I'll get into this later. He didn't have sex. With the, he just thigh fucked him.
That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it better at all.
That would be the worst part to come in, too. He didn't have sex, just thigh fucked him.
Don't worry,
So-
for now, I think it's
Can you
just,
imagine being that one dude at the bar who goes, "Hey, look, I'm a guy in Scotland. There's a nice bloke right there. He won't kill me and fuck my body, then pose with it." Oh, dear Gerald, how wrong you were.
Why is it Gerald? Do you know a Gerald who's gone?
No, I don't. That's the
Okay,
name that popped
so-
into my head.
Basically, he finishes his training. He gets stationed in West Germany. Everything's good. He loves West Germany. And then eventually he gets sent to the state of Aden. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
And becomes the chef at Al Mansoura prison.
So he's in a colonial situation as a wow.
Yeah.
The British just are the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, he definitely keeps giving.
Well, that gives a whole new level
While he's there, sees several bunker mates die when they're ambushed, etc., and gets kidnapped. Which is kind of a part of his own fantasy. So this taxi driver is filling in this guy's kink without knowing it. This taxi driver's like, "You're part of the army, I'm gonna kidnap you," and he's like, "Yeah, baby, put me in the trunk."
Dear God.
Then beats the taxi driver with a tire iron after the taxi driver opens the trunk to be like, "Hey, you alive still?" Bam, bam. Taxi driver's in the trunk. Now is when his fantasies progress to having the dead people, because he's like, "Wow, I've seen dead people. Ooh, I almost killed that guy. Corpses."
I see.
They don't
Hot.
fight back.
They do not fight back.
They also don't have choice.
So they
no
shouldn't
matter what you
fight
do,
back anyways.
if you
I
fuck
mean,
a dead body,
Like
it's
if,
rape.
if a dead body is fighting back, it's not dead. Or you're in the zombie apocalypse. Why is this guy moving?
So
Stop it.
He basically starts having very, very vivid fantasies about, like, this young blonde man who he saw die, and that relates up to this picture, this Renaissance painting called The Raft of the Medusa. It depicts this old guy, and he's got this new dead youth sitting next to him, and a dismembered youth next to him. So he's got dead boy in front of him, dismembered boy next to him, and the dead body that is not dismembered is spread eagle. Basically, he's like, "That's my jam, yo." This painting will come into play later.
I wonder if that's what soul is inside your cat then.
Albert does not fuck dead bodies.
No. Squish.
Squish doesn't fuck dead bodies either.
I don't want to talk about my cat doing anything with dead bodies.
Can I have a mini taco?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Dead bodies and fucking them.
There we
Not
go.
me, somebody else. So,
I'm gonna read that.
There was a brief period where he cooked for the Queen's Royal Guard, and then he ended his 11-year military career. He was conscripted for 9, stayed in for 11. What do we do when we get out of the military? We become a police officer.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a second, will one of you grab Lathan's food from
Yeah. So,
outside?
Is it outside?
Yeah. you
while
just
he's
got something.
deciding if he's going to become a police officer or not is when, in like
That's the same thing.
December 1972, early 1973, is when his relationship with his family falls apart. He is hanging out with his brother and sister-in-law and watching a movie about gay men because the AIDS pandemic is starting to happen.
Of course he's watching.
And the brother basically expresses that, good, they deserve it. And Dennis is like, hey, actually, gay rights. And then the brother says, oh, you're gay. I'm gonna tell mom. So
Did he kill his brother?
No, he should have, though. I don't like Olaf Jr. I'm not saying you should murder anybody, but if you're gonna murder somebody, murder your homophobic older brother. Do not do that.
We do not condone murder on this podcast, probably.
Unless he's a Proud Boy.
Oh.
We're not murdering anybody, but you can punch a Nazi for as little as $1.
That is true. Boys! Poop.
I don't know if you could hear that, but the Hounds of Hell have discovered the DoorDash driver. So basically, his brother destroys his relationship with his family. And Dennis vows to never talk to any of them again, only has intermittent relationship with his mother through mail. And he goes and becomes a police officer.
Sorry about the noise, everybody. Got a loud dog.
Sorry, I keep eating these.
That's fine.
It's on your butt.
Okay. So now that he's out to his family, he's out. And he decides that being out... Hey! 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 You're fine. I don't know what I'm talking about anyways. Just thigh fucking corpses.
We're talking about murder.
Stop shooting, please. Thank you.
Okay. He decides that being gay and being a police officer don't mix. So after his short career, he stops being a police officer and becomes a civil servant, basically helping unskilled laborers find jobs. So he works for the government, but not in the same capacity he had in the past, obviously.
Well, that's a stressor. That's definitely going to make him murder.
So, coincidentally, when he quit his job, around that same time, Bert's dad dies and leaves £1,000 to each of his children.
That's a lot of money.
I'm assuming so. I know nothing about this. So it was like 1973-ish that he got £1,000.
Okay.
Oh, hello, Nerve Pincher.
Hey, buddy, how are you? It's nice to see you. Rock and roll.
So when was that? 1970s?
Yeah, in the 1970s.
I'm looking it up.
I thought that's what you were doing this whole time while you were like Kim Possible over there with the computer. Like,
Yeah, it's nice seeing you too. Yeah, the wife and the sisters talking.
Nerve pincher.
The hell's RL? Rocket League. Okay.
I was like, Rob gonna do some real life.
Ooh, I'm on the second monitor. I see how it is, fancy boy.
I also thought RL stood for real life.
I was very confused. Don't look at it. You're gonna
I'm
have to
not.
see it. Don't look at it.
I'm not.
You don't want to go back to the ER today?
No.
How many
Doctor
times
was
can
a
we?
fucking dick.
I'm sorry. Are you less itchy now?
No.
Well,
No, I'm not.
that doesn't help at all.
So how you been lately, bud?
Or less hurting.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so where were we since we suddenly paused the entire...
I was waiting for you to look up at how much 1,000 pounds is in the 1970s.
1,000 pounds is
So
1,000
apparently,
pounds.
100 pounds in 1970 is equivalent to about 1,500 today. What? So 100 equals 1,557. Quick one,
So, like-
He got some. He got a good
Add another 0 onto that.
Yeah, seriously.
good chunk of cash.
That's all you have to do. Add on. Basically, you got $15,000.
No, more than that.
It doesn't matter.
He got a lot of money. His dad died, he got money, and he was like, fuck yeah, I didn't like this guy anyways.
Yeah, so it would have been 1,500, 15,000.
Is that toilet seat staying in there? It's a mystery for another time.
So, he gets money, and he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's hanging out outside a pub in 1975, in like the winter months, and there's this young 20-year-old named David who is getting threatened by 2 older men. And
So
Nilsen is like, I'm going to be the knight in shining armor, and steps in because he's going to protect this young, presumably, hopefully gay man. That's the way he's seen it. He's attracted to this guy, and he's gonna help. And he gets into an altercation, and they end up going back to his room in the Cricklewood district of North London, and drinking and talking and deciding that they're going to get a place together. They enter into a relationship, and they're going to get a place together.
So, by the way, he had, in today's dollars, it's like $21,600.
I love you, Dad, but if you have to go, you have to go.
At least Dad, gave him something, but he actually had a relationship with Grandpapa enough to see his water-battered corpse.
Yeah, water-battered corpse, and been like, that's sexy.
Oh God! Wow.
Yes.
Sure.
It is super sexy. Waterlogged corpse? That doesn't get your jimmies going?
No.
As somebody who's worked some, no.
That's fair.
My jimmies are not going. My jimmies
So,
are leaving the building.
Basically, they find this place, 195 Melrose Avenue, and they're going to move into the ground floor flat, and Nilsen, with his wad of cash, basically gets the property owner to agree to giving Nilsen the exclusive rights to the garden.
Is it a fuck garden?
No, it's a disposing of bodies garden.
Wait, what?
Did he plant roses over them?
He burned them.
No, did he plant anything on...
Nope, bitch did not have green
So it's
thumbs.
just an abandoned murder garden.
Yeah.
It's
That he burned bodies in.
Planted asparagus in his free time.
Do you know how hot it takes to burn a body?
Yeah.
Let's look this up.
So, he hasn't started murdering yet. This is important. He's in a happy relationship that slowly starts to fizzle out because,
He's a nut.
the other half doesn't want to get a job, and he views himself as the breadwinner and thinks he should make all the rules, and eventually they get into a fight. And according to Dennis, he kicks David out. According to David, he chooses to leave. The police never figure out what's happening, but the relationship is over.
I don't think it particularly matters at that point what's happening.
So, this happened in May 1977. He starts killing early 1978. He confessed to 15 murders, but has recanted on some of them, and he's only in jail for I believe 5 murders and 2 attempted murders. But, basically, he would lure young men in bars and places like that to come back and drink more and strangle them. And then, if they didn't die, he'd drown them. Because...
horrible fate we need more to say. Do you guys hear that coughing? That is what he did to his victims!
That is what he did to his victims. No. He drowned them
Hit them with 2 trucks?
because he
You
almost
just came
drowned.
from the ER.
What the hell did they do to you?
Not much.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because when he was a kid, he almost drowned, but his grandfather's spirit saved him. It wasn't his grandfather, it was another boy who saw him drowning. But he believes Grandpa saved him. So he knows what it's like to drown, and he found it peaceful because he's fucked up in the head and
Most
was
people
like,
say drowning's one of the worst experiences they've ever had.
It's definitely up there.
It's not great.
Well, this guy apparently
definitely up
found
there.
it peaceful.
It's peaceful!
And then Grandpapa saved him
I would say
as
it's
an
our
angel.
In the ocean.
3rd worst
Covered in
experience
kelp.
of my life.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where it falls on mine.
I mean, getting to know you guys is like number 1.
Same. I mean, have you met yourself?
Yes.
So-
I'm sorry.
I'm pretty
Should
awesome.
this milk not be in the fridge?
It's Quinn. She do what she want with her milk.
She's disgusting and doesn't believe in refrigeration.
Okay.
I have to pull stuff out. I have to pull out some bad milk,
Just
drain
leave
it
the
and
milk
stuff.
on
It's
the
getting
dining
warm.
room table.
Okay, so...
Next question.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it
I
alone.
just was asking.
Is it your milk? Is it your milk?
Can I talk about death? Please.
I have scissors in my hand, sir.
You guys are. This is a clusterfuck.
what
This
we
is such a
deal with
clusterfuck.
every single fucking day.
So when he killed at 2 different addresses. When he lived at Melrose Avenue.
Why are you having to say it like that? You don't
I
say
don't
it
know.
like that there.
Fine. When he lived at Downtown Abbey. Is that not it?
Downton.
Downtown Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
Melrose Avenue.
Melrose Abbey.
Okay, so anyways, when he lived at Melrose, he burned all the bodies. When he lived at the next place, he flushed them.
You can't do these things. There must have been so many remains.
Oh, sorry, he also kept them in his cupboards and tea chest and the drawer beneath the bathtub.
Hold on, a drawer beneath the bathtub?
Yeah,
Who has a drawer beneath the
he had a drawer
bathtub?
beneath, like, the bathtub, and it had, like, a little pull-out drawer under it.
That's really creepy.
That's super weird. And he filled it with bodies. So
Is
he
that
was
where all
creepy.
the little smokies went?
All the dicks in the world, and only one drawer to put in.
Anyway,
Okay, so the thing is I have no clue who we're talking about right now.
Dennis
Dennis
Nilsen.
Okay.
Scottish serial killer.
No, you're good. Things make sense now.
I don't know. He's
So-
sounding bloody American.
So yeah, anyways, he would flush him down the toilet at the later residence. But he killed his first victim and his youngest victim, Stephen Holmes, on December 30th, 1978. So that is the first boom.
He
Murder.
flushed the bodies down the toilet?
He flushed
Yes.
parts of the
He
But I
flushed parts
can't-
of the bodies down the toilet.
But the toilet can't handle my tampons.
Don't flush
Toilet.
tampons down the toilet.
I
We
don't.
not talk
I don't
about
even wear
your
them.
bloody women things.
I don't
Sorry,
even wear them.
um,
But like, how can it
The
handle...
toilet didn't handle the bodies, and
was
this
about to
relates
get-
to how he got
I was
caught.
about to get
Okay.
really angry. I'm like, my toilet cannot.
He
be
called the
used.
plumber on
I don't
himself.
even wear them.
And they were like,
Okay.
what's that? And then he was like, not people. And they were like, but it looks like people.
Not people.
I don't know how it got there.
I don't know what happened, but that's not a dude's neck.
That's
Anyway,
not
so-
a ding-a-ling.
Okay, he kills Steven.
Is that a nip nop?
That's a belt of nip knots.
Thank you.
Okay, so he kills 14-year-old Steven after being like, oh, they wouldn't serve you alcohol at the pub. I'll serve you alcohol, which obviously as a 14-year-old, you're gonna take advantage of, but please, for the love of God, if you're out there in 14 and some creepy guy's like, I'll get you drunk back at my place, the answer is no. The answer should always be no. So, he thinks Steven's older. I don't think it matters. He killed a kid. And he did so with a necktie because he was scared Stephen would wake up and leave him. So what do when you're scared somebody's gonna leave you instead of going to therapy?
Murder them and then flush them down the toilet.
No, he didn't. He kept this one.
Oh my god.
He
murder them and then pose them and take Polaroids?
He then started with his rituals, where he would wash the body, talcum powder the body, and make up the body. And then pose it in an armchair while he watched TV with it, and then sometimes masturbated on top of it.
I'm eating it.
At least he did like taxidermist this shit.
I am not trying to eat.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, can you imagine if he was some weird taxidermy toilet flushing murder guy? That would add an entire new level of preserving the body.
Well, you know
so,
what?
question though,
Yeah.
taxidermy, would you consider Ed Gein like he was a taxidermist?
No, taxidermy would be the art of posing and recreating something.
He did.
I mean,
He
Yeah,
did.
but I
He
consider it more
taxidermied.
He
standard.
definitely posed those nipples before he made them into a belt.
Nipple belt.
Oh, you think he used the necktie because he was classy? Classy my ass. This dude was a nut.
I think he used it out of opportunity. But I forgot to mention, he strangled and then drowned. And he was less classy because he drowned him in a bucket.
Okay.
A bucket.
I thought you were going to say a bucket full of piss there for a second.
No, just a bucket.
And I was like, that's the
full of
least.
Scottish water, which,
Is
take
piss, yeah.
take that how you will.
Water.
Bog water, yeah.
It's basically the.
Hey, remember when you
physical
almost died in a bog?
representation of my soul.
That's what
Yeah,
happened
she
to this
goes
kid. Except for real.
Are you saying that
We
my
died in a
traumatic?
bog in a
Are you
bucket.
saying that my traumatic experience isn't real?
It's
No, your
always-
traumatic experience is real. I'm just saying it could get more real if you were a young gay man in the 1970s in Scotland.
So glad.
I would be dead if
Probably.
I was in Scotland.
Don't
They would
worry.
Beat me to death.
Don't worry, he then wrapped the body in plastic bags and put it under the floorboards. For just in cases.
Gotta keep it freshness.
That became a problem later. He then tried, 2 months later, he was like, wow, I really like this murder stuff. He tried to kill a young student from Hong Kong named Andrew Ho, who got away from him and was like, I'm going to file a report, and then was like, wait, I don't want to press charges because then everybody will know I'm gay.
The evil man.
Which, back then, it was still bad. It was a stigma, and
It was
so...
also
Probably
illegal.
still very illegal.
Yeah. It was right before the AIDS pandemic.
Okay, I'm just gonna point out how easy it would have been just to point out that the man was predatory and drugged him. He could have totally faked it.
But he went with Dennis for other reasons. It's that shame that's still coming out. So basically, he tries to murder this guy, doesn't get it. December, he's like, all right, we're gonna retry. This time, he goes for yet another foreigner, goes for a Canadian named Kenneth Ockenden, who's 23 years old. So, he's moved up from the children now, people. That's a horrible sentence.
I
don't like that
he's
sentence.
not doing kids now.
He thought he was 17, if it helps.
No.
No, it doesn't
I
help at all.
don't know if that helps.
I don't think that helps.
Doesn't help me.
So basically, he meets this Canadian. He's like, "Hey, I'll show you the landmarks." Wink, wink. And Ockenden is
Hey, I'll
dumb.
show you my landmarks.
and
huh?
okay.
For
and
some reason, I thought you
booze?
said the guy who got away, his last name was Ho.
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 His last name was Ho.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
a common
my
last name.
Washington Monument.
Yeah, it's a very common.
It's a super common last name.
And this one, Ockenden, is also super common.
And this one is my sinkhole.
Yeah. So basically, they stop off to get booze because this is how Dennis Nilsen gets all his victims, is the promise of booze, the promise of having somewhere to sleep at night, and the promise of drugs. So he gets Ockenden back towards his house, and he doesn't remember when he decided to strangle him, but he knew that he had to kill him. Because, you know, when the voice inside your head says, hey, kill that bitch, you go, yes.
Grandpa, why?
I did that every single third customer of mine would be
And I'm
dead.
glad you don't. None of us should actually do that. Yet again, we do not condone murder.
So you have to know this. I've been
Mostly.
feeding Chowder dead bodies.
That makes sense.
I appreciate that. Okay, so yet again, he strangles Ockenden, but you want to know how he strangles him? Because it's not classy. It's like something out of Final fucking Fantasy. He
Whoa.
strangles him with his headphone wire, and then drags the body by the headphone wire to finish him off in the sink, and then listen to Ockenden's music on the headphones that he murdered him with.
That's
Can you repeat
almost
that?
impressive on how fucked up it is.
Can you repeat that?
Strangles you with headphone wire, finishes you off in the sink after dragging you by said wire,
Wait, he
and then
strangled the guy,
goes,
then
and then
drowned
goes,
him in the
oh,
sink.
this might be some good music, and puts your headphones on that he killed you with.
I mean,
Well, you know now his ears are haunted.
But also, I really want to know what brand of headphones.
I just want to point out.
Because if you could strangle somebody with those and they still have the sound quality to listen to
you know
that
who probably
Walkman,
did something more fucked
what
up?
brand are they?
You know who probably did something more fucked up? Genghis Khan.
Probably Genghis Khan, but these are
Every
historical
time
people.
something happens, if you want to defy and not apply it to anything,
This is not his podcast.
use the Mongols.
We're not talking about Genghis Khan.
We're talking about a serial killer. I could also be like, you know who did more fucked up shit? Hitler.
Of course he did.
But
I
we're
thought it
not
was a-
You know
talking
who
about
else
that.
did fucked up shit? Stalin.
We're talking about little Scottish Dennis Nilsen and the brand of headphones he used to murder the Canadian student, because I really want to know what brand.
AirPods.
How would you...
Panasonic?
AirPods don't have wires.
No, it would have been a British brand, so it had some kind of weird
Also, it's like
name.
in the fucking 70s, right? So it's
Stop
gonna
eating
be...
my tacos. No, you already put your grubby little fingers on it. The next day, so murders you with your own headphones and listens to your music like some sort of like Albert Hitchcock character while he stares at your dead body and drinks wine or rum.
Wine.
Buys a Polaroid the next day and starts photographing the body in various suggestive positions so he can, you know, fap it to the corpse.
So it'd basically be like a really demented Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Tony.
Star-Lord?
You're welcome for that thought in your
I
head
can't
now.
unthink it
You're
now.
welcome.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Star-Lord shit.
Oh, sorry, when he's done with you, he puts you beneath the
Avengers.
floorboards with the other corpse!
Isn't that it? Avengers? Wait, what
Yeah.
is- yeah.
Yeah, Star-Lord, you know.
I was really confused because,
This
he-
is-
Yeah, no, like just the putting on the headphones and like.
This
It's
is
like
starting
he's got
to-
the-
While, like,
This is
doing
starting to
some
sound a
awesome
lot like
shit.
Dahmer.
Oh, well, Dahmer did try to and successfully killed a young Asian boy
And he
who got
did keep
given
a
back to
ton
him by
of
the
fucking
cops.
corpses in his basement.
Okay, so he's killed Kenneth, who is like his favorite, by the way. He goes back and talks about Kenneth a lot. He describes him as the most beautiful, and bought the camera specifically for Kenneth.
I would not ever date someone named Kenneth.
He didn't date him; he just murdered him.
And fucked him.
I was gonna say, don't worry, he never dated again. The one that died.
Poor Kenneth.
Yeah, Kenneth never dated again.
Terrible name.
He didn't
Terrible.
have actual sex with the corpse. He just masturbated while sitting on its chest. Anti-fucked it.
I'm really, really grateful for Avianation right now. Because I can't imagine that. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Like, I literally can't. And I'm grateful.
I can, and I'm horrified.
Okay. So, he kills his second youngest victim next, who's 16-year-old Martin Duffy. Kills him in 1980. And he promised him food, shelter, etc., booze, alcohol, that type of thing. And yet again, strangles and drowns.
Technically, he did provide those things for.
He stuck Martin in. He did.
Strangling someone and then drowning them is such a very.
But Grandpapa saved him.
Such a specific move.
Grandpapa wished it.
No,
he
what I'm trying to
keeps
say is,
Martin in a chair for 2 days.
Son of a bitch.
Until the body bloats. And then you know what he does with the body? It's not like he disposes of it. Floorboards!
Son of a bitch twice now.
He's got 3 bodies under the floorboards now in various stages of decay that are stinking up the whole house. And because of this, he buys like air fresheners and insecticide instead of getting rid of the bodies.
So Dahmer buried apparently 12 to 15 people in his garden.
We're not talking about Dahmer.
No, that was Dennis Nilsen!
He didn't bury them in the garden.
Yeah, he did.
He burned them in the garden.
Yeah, but he
buried the bones.
Oh, but 12 to 15 people. Wow.
Yeah.
He killed 12 to 15 people in only 3 years? Wow.
Yeah, bitch got busy.
Oh, yeah, you talking about this? Viscera Cleanup Detail, dude. It's fun as heck. And it's multiplayer. So if you ever want to play...
It's super awesome.
It's weirdly cathartic.
Did you actually play the murder cleanup game with him?
Not me? I would play the murder cleanup game.
I've watched it plenty, and I would love to play it.
We just need to get you a better computer.
Okay, so... He's had 3 murders, right? He moves up and starts killing with more frequency. By the end of 1980, he killed 5 more guys. He only remembers the name of one, who's 26-year-old William David. The rest have never been identified. He's described them and described how he killed them in gruesome detail. But they were transient. They have no names. They don't have.
So he just started murdering homeless men that he wanted to fuck.
Well,
he lured them.
He lured them home, and then yeah.
But no one cares about the gay homeless man. How many hookers do you think is worth one gay homeless man?
Okay, so basically he's got dissected bodies all throughout his house and under his floorboards. He's got, 8 bodies now? That he has to burn. So what's he do? Go out to the back garden, make a burn pile, and lob flesh onto it. And then goes, this is gonna smell like hot dogs. I should put something on it so people don't smell the burning flesh. And covers it in tires. And you know what? It fucking worked.
What smells worse than human flesh burning?
Burning
tires.
And it worked. People were like, wow, he's just burning trash and tires. I want to stay away. And meanwhile, he had a people barbecue going on and nobody noticed. It wasn't like he was the only guy living at this address. He was just the bottom floor flat. And those people...
How the fuck did no one notice all the people going into his house and not coming out?
How did nobody notice the smells?
Where did he look again at the smell?
Epilepsy warning, just FYI. Because they shoot out beams.
Flash warning.
Where are you trying to hit here?
Me?
Yeah, what are you doing with
filling in bullet holes.
So, another epilepsy warning. We're about to kill an epileptic.
Why?
So, no, not you.
Oh, I was like, what did I do?
So, he kills his final victim, who is 23-year-old Malcolm Barlow, whose seizure medication makes it so his legs don't work properly, and slumps outside against Nilsen's wall. Nilsen, concerned, calls an ambulance, keeps him warm, gives him stuff to drink, and waves him on his way. And this dumb hoe that just escaped a murderer comes back to say thank you.
Well, the poor boy didn't know.
Poor boy didn't
He
know.
came back to say thank you and then was murdered.
He didn't know.
He didn't know butt stuff would equal murder stuff.
He probably...
There was no butt stuff.
No butt stuff!
Nobody got any butt stuff out of this.
God damn it! Did this man put out at all, or did he just kill people and use their corpses?
He
as
had to
backup?
assure several people when he brought them back to his home that there would be no sexual encounters, because they were like, this creepy older guy's hitting on me. I don't want to do that. I just want to get drunk. But anyways, almost escapes the clutches of a murderer. And comes back to say thank you.
I mean, he didn't know. Come on.
I think you're just offending him because he's epileptic.
Maybe.
He is. Don't defend him. That's like with Beth's nonsense of I hear yelling, let me run outside. Like, bitch, I'm gonna lock you out there. You turn down the lumen levels.
Running outside.
I'm sorry, I hear noises. I am not going outside.
She was like, it was literally like right after everything happened at the Capitol, and she's like, I hear yelling. Grabs the baseball bat and runs outside.
What's she gonna do with the baseball bat? She's like 4 feet tall.
I know! And I'm like, she walks back inside.
That's like a toddler
And I
with the
Can
bat.
you imagine when a bunch of
And I
soccer
went over
hooligans
and I'm like,
react to a 4-foot-tall
Where's that
woman like
right
that?
now? 'Cause they need it. Because you're a little bit too white. Turn down the lumen levels.
The beacons have gone to alert.
Can you guys think about how this entire thing would think, like someone trying to talk to that guy? I mean, he would just add another body below.
So anyways, he stows the epileptic under the sink.
Though there was that 2 point, there is a thing though.
That's
where
right.
people-
He doesn't get the floorboards. He just gets the sink.
The epileptic man goes under the sink.
Under the sink. Somebody's
Shakies
already
don't
in
get
the
the
drawer
proper
under the
place.
bathtub.
That's
How
where
the
we
fuck does
go.
a laser fix a bullet hole?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Don't ask questions. But mid-1981, the person who owns the Melrose
Place.
Murder Palace wants to renovate and says, hey, I need you to move out. And Nilsen's like, no. And they're like, hey, I'll give you £1,000. And he says, deal. And somehow, nobody at the Murder Palace is like, wow, there's a lot of maggots under these floorboards. Oh, wow, there's some bones in the backyard. Nobody notices. Nobody.
It's England. They probably notice. They just don't want to say anything because they think Charlie's weird.
So, he goes from ground floor flat with a private garden to an attic flat in Cranley Gardens, which to me sounds more murdery.
Yeah, but wait, did he put more dead people underneath the floorboards?
Oh no, he
Cranley.
no longer has floorboards, so now he gets a tea chest.
He had to have run out of so much space so fast.
Well, you flush him down the toilet too.
But you can flush bodies down the
So-
toilet.
That's not true. He
You
did.
can,
Why did he just, throw them in a river or something?
because you're asking too much of our murderer.
It's not a very good murderer. He did kill.
He
Well,
killed a lot of
he
people.
was
He
a
killed
good
20
murderer,
people,
'cause
so
he
he was a
killed-
good kill. He was a good murderer. He seems a little bit better at this than Ted Bundy. About the same level of intelligence?
I think Ted Bundy was smarter. This bitch just picked a really good people to kill.
Honestly, they're both about the same level of.
I mean, nobody's looking for homeless people. Alright, so he goes 2 months with no murders. 2 months! That's a long time for him.
But he went, let's see, according to the internet, to websites, so he killed 20 people between 1978 and 1983. 5 years.
Yeah.
So he's averaging how many people a month?
Well, he killed
73.
at least 8 while he was at Melrose Avenue.
Also, my number was not accurate. Or true.
Probably more, but he admitted to 8.
So yeah, the first one, and that was John Hewlett, also known as John the Guardsman. Guardsman? I love how no matter how fucking fucked up the story is, they keep making it so English.
Oh yeah, John Hewlett. So he meets him. Sorry, I'm chewing on curly fries. So he meets John Howlett, however you want to say it, while drinking in a pub near Leicestershire Square.
Did you just say rubbish?
Yeah.
You're not fucking English.
She is today.
We speak American here. You say trash.
No, I'm just gonna point out that according to this, he put large pieces of dead body in his garbage.
I don't know about you, but I've never been one to look through the garbage.
Neither have I. But I feel like I would notice if there was like a torso or a leg.
He apparently flushed organs down the toilet. I'm surprised he didn't clog it faster.
No, but did he clog it? Okay, so he meets John Hewlett, lures him back to his new place with promises of booze, and he delivers on that. They keep drinking, and eventually Howlett passes out on the bed.
Yeah.
And he's staring at Howlett, and he goes, "I'm gonna kill this bitch." And a struggle ensues, which he's never had before. Howlett actually almost subdues him and starts strangling him back. He ends up winning.
And he's shouting at Howlett, by the way.
Yeah.
It's about time you went.
Yeah. Nobody in the neighboring flats are like, I should call the police. He's having a struggle of a lifetime.
There was probably some guy nearby who went, huh, jolly good show.
And some guy's like, that sounds familiar. I better not interfere.
I bet you they thought it was like a soccer foul or some bullshit like that.
He tried on 3 separate occasions to kill Howlett. He said he just kept breathing. But eventually kills him.
By shoving his face in the bathtub for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That'd do it.
Yeah.
Then there is...
And then he wraps him in plastic bags and hides him in, like, various places. Because you know he cut that bitch up.
And then flush portions of flesh and internal organs down the toilet.
Yep. Tiny bits.
No
Like
one
the
notices
fingers.
the man-eating rats that are living there.
No.
That little
Nobody
speaker there
cares.
looks
Nobody
kinda
noticed
angry.
him have a loud struggle with a grown-ass man.
And the man
yelled,
never left.
It's finally... Yeah, nobody notices any of this.
I don't think they cared. That's more of that homo side they speak of.
Oh,
It is
God.
England.
Was that too much?
No, you're fine. So, he kills the next one in May of 1982, who's a 21-year-old named Carl's daughter. And
Wait, his
he
name's
picks
Carl's daughter?
Carl Stotter.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
No, his name's Carl's daughter.
There are people with that last name that tends to be
Yeah.
Icelandic and they tend to be women, but...
Why are you facting at me?
Basically, the youth was
I'll allow the fact all
really...
I want.
He picked up a depressed guy. So,
Is that
depending
Graham
on how
Allen?
you look at this. No, this is Carl Stotter.
That's Carl's daughter. Poor Carl's daughter.
Who doesn't die. He falls asleep in a sleeping bag, which is weird, but whatever. And wakes up to Nilsen crouching on him, feels like he's fussing with the zipper, messing with his neck area, whispering, "Stay still," which, if I don't know if that's not, like, that's freaky.
We're going from total nightmare to event horizon fucker.
Passes back out, wakes up in a cold bathtub with the person holding you under, and you scream, "No more, no more, no more, please, no more, ah." And he keeps trying to drown you, but you know what? You're not dying. And then, because he has, like, a change of mind or something, he decides to save Carl?
Carl, no.
Layers him with blankets, rubs his limbs, and then concocts a story to Carl oh, you got caught in your sleeping bag and then you were in shock. So what happened is I stuck you under the cold water so you'd come out of shock, and then I saved you. I saved you, so you should go on your way. Don't kill yourself. We'll meet again.
That makes about as much sense as your dog being a dog.
And Carl doesn't report him to police.
Probably because he's gay and doesn't want to get arrested for being a gay.
But you, come on! He tried to murder you!
I'm just gonna point out that.
I want Carl to be like, huh.
So, fun fact, we're gonna do a quick little thing here. One of the main people that helped break the Enigma code, Alan Turing, he was gay, and there were people trying to get him tossed out and arrested because he was gay.
I know, but this is
when he was still helping with World War II.
Well, you know.
People is dumb.
I know. Don't worry. Stoddard is brought
And
into the
homophobia
trial
makes
when
people even dumb.
Stoddard is brought into the trial when they charge Nilsen to testify against him, and he agrees to. So
he just leaves them at a railway station?
yeah, just leaves him at a railway station. It's like, bye. Have fun. Remember, I didn't try to kill you. Bye.
And then he gets promoted and kills some poor schmuck named Graham.
Yeah.
God, all these
So,
men have terrible names.
It's not necessarily.
His name was
anything wrong
Graham
with Graham.
Allen. He was trying to hail a taxi, and he took Nilsen's offer to go to basically food with him. And
Did he murder this guy with a tire iron like he did that poor taxi driver?
no, he strangled him. And then we move on to our final victim, Stephen Sinclair. These
Wait,
are all
what?
horrible
I'm
names.
just gonna
We have
read
Graham
this.
and Stephen
Nilsen
and
stated
Kenneth.
he cannot recall the precise moment he strangled Alan, but he recalled approaching him as he sat eating an omelet with the full intention of murdering him.
You know what makes me want to murder people?
Omelets.
Omelets.
Eggs. The food of killers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Poo-Poo, is that why you eat eggs? Because you kill people?
Okay, so
You are so ferocious.
Sinclair was last seen in the company of Nilsen.
Yeah,
So
I
this
have it right
could
here.
be where issues were, where people started suspecting him.
Oh yeah,
Maybe-
Victim 20.
You know, whatever. Victim 20, whatever.
I'm just gonna point out that the fact that this is a thing that happens in our society is beyond fucked up.
Nilsen admitted to the police before he killed Sinclair. He said, "Oh, Stephen, here I go again," and then fucking strangled him. Which
Oh,
I feel
Stephen, here I go again.
like
Oopsie.
like murder is
Oopsie.
just oh, I did it
That
again.
motherfucker is
I
in a
did
Britney
it
Spears song.
again.
Oh, you
I
piece of shit.
strangled you bad, then I drowned you in my path.
We can't afford to pay for that song.
Yes.
But I was doing custom. It's a spoof.
No.
No?
Please don't. I
Okay.
don't want to get DMCA'd. I'm not famous enough yet.
So, kills Stephen, and then bathes Stephen, talcum powder Stephen, puts makeup on Stephen, lays his body out on the bed.
Do you know what
And-
brand he was putting on them? Because I
Why?
really
Why
like
do
to
you
know.
want to know? You want to
I want to know what brand those headphones are.
I want to know.
Sturdy.
I want to know because I want to know what brand the headphones are, but the makeup, so I can say the makeup of killers.
What's the makeup of killers?
Is it?
Maybelline.
Is it
Um,
The Maybelline.
Maybe it's murder.
Maybe it's next.
Maybelline.
You know, they really do love making themselves look terrible.
Oh no.
I'll let you guys
Um,
go do a little googling on that.
Anyways, dresses, does all his weird ritual with the dead body,
Are we gonna talk
lays
about
it
like
on-
murderers and rituals
lays it-
tonight too? Because we've been.
lays it on his
Yeah.
bed, and kisses it goodnight.
I mean, I've never done that, but I guess I.
Are you sure you've never kissed a dead bitch goodnight?
No, the last time I saw a dead body, I was flipping out because my dog died.
way to make
That's
it real.
depressing, and we got real.
Yeah, but the level of like that was a dog. Like that was terrifying. Can you
no,
imagine
we're talking about a dead body. He chopped that dead body up,
and he kisses it.
and
That's
said
like-
good night, Stephen.
You gotta
Ugh!
get a little smoochy in there sometimes, you know?
Oh, Steven, I've done it again.
Oh no,
Next day.
Steven. I'm sorry. Oh no. Come on.
Well,
buddy.
sorry, not next day. Put Stephen somewhere for now, like in a wardrobe or something. On February 4th,
Yeah.
he writes a letter
Oh yeah, I'm reading it right now. This is
to
so
complain to the estate agents that the drains at Cranley Gardens were so blocked it was becoming horrific to deal with for him and the other residents. This man is flushing body parts down the toilet, blocks the drains, writes a letter, Karens his way into getting a plumber.
great. I found the letter.
You don't have to be intelligent to be a murderer now.
Hasn't gotten caught till now, but the plumbers are about to catch him.
Always be leery of plumbers.
Like, February 5th, people show up to ask questions, you know, like, what's going on with your drain? And he won't let him into the apartment because he's got a dissected body on the kitchen floor. On the 8th, they figure out what's going on with the drain. They're down there messing with it in, like, the bottom of the apartments, and the plumber goes, oh my god, this looks like flesh and bones of a person.
So just to give you an idea of how off his rocker this man was, this is actually his own words that have been transliterated to where you can read them. It says, "Dear blank, this is a supplementary reply to your last letter. When I wrote to you, there had been no official acknowledgement that your check had been received here. The usual procedure is that the prisoner concerned is called up to sign for the registration." Who is this about?
I don't know, but you're interrupting the best part.
Okay, murder letter.
The plumber calls his boss to look at it because he's like, this is people. His boss looks at it and goes,
People.
His boss looks at it and goes, this is fucking people. And
This is people?
and Dennis Nilsen was following him and goes, looks like somebody's flushing their Kentucky Fried Chicken there.
What? Did he actually say
Kentucky Fried Chicken. It looks to me like someone has been flushing down their Kentucky Fried Chicken. Is
Looks
what
like
he
somebody's
told-
been flushing down
That's
that
what he
Kentucky
said
Fried
Was
to the
Kentucky
plumber.
Fried Chicken even in the UK that time?
I'm assuming so, because that would be a real weird lie if it wasn't.
Looks like somebody's been flushing their KFC down. What the fuck is KFC?
13 spices!
American?
So, the plumbers leave and come back the next day. You're good. And they're like, oh wow, the drain's empty now. Let's investigate.
How'd the drain get?
Exactly.
What the fuck is that?
And you know what they find? More flesh-like scraps and tiny bones, which both of them are like definitely came from a hand, as if two plumbers are well versed on anatomy. Apparently these guys were.
Hey, you know what? They know what they're doing. Wink.
To be honest, they live in the
I
city.
feel like
Find scraps.
maybe not the
Find
first time.
scraps and bones not the first time.
Not
the first time they caught a murderer.
Frank, we
Well,
got
to be
another
honest,
one.
If you saw bits and pieces of people, then you find a bunch of really fine bones, wouldn't you be like, oh, that looks like a knuckle bone?
I doubt it very
Actually, the plumber's name was Michael.
much. Oh,
That
I'm
is
really
the most normal person name we've heard out of Dennis.
I was
Steven.
excited. and
So
then you
the
took it from
plumbers
me.
then go, we're gonna call the fucking police.
Scotland Yard.
Well, can use
Can
the
you
word,
imagine
but
if
you
they
don't
made
have
an
to talk about it.
episode of Sherlock out of this
So
guy?
7:30 a.m. Next day they come back, drains have been cleared, they discover more scraps and flesh, and they call the cops. And the cops take it to the mortuary. And lo and behold, that guy's like, oh yeah, this is people. 100% people. And this right here is a bit of flesh that came from the neck, and as you can see, there's ligature marks. So the cops go back to Nilsen's apartment, and they're like, hey, can we come in? And he's like, yeah, sure, why? And they're like, well, you have people in your drains.
I would like it to go exactly like that, please.
No. And he goes, oh, what?
That's not people, that's Steven!
And the chief inspector goes, give it up now, man. And he goes, okay, you're right. I killed a lot of people, but I'll tell you all about it at the police station because he's tired of lying.
Is he tired about lying about murdering people or tired about lying about he's gay?
I don't know. But
He really did hate himself.
But he literally got caught because he called a plumber on himself.
Not just that, the full context is he submitted a complaint about his drains backing up to the official, like, the equivalent of the landlord. Like, he didn't just call for a plumber. He complained about everything to his landlord.
Yeah.
And the other tenant, and complained about the other tenants, who then sent in a plumber. So
And then
obviously they knew about this too. After the plumber was like, "Yeah, there's people in there."
But he got caught because he called a plumber. This is the dumbest. He killed 20 people, succeeded, kept dead bodies underneath the floorboards, and then got caught because he flushed a body and clogged the drain.
Hey.
Wow, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you put a body in a toilet?
Because he didn't have access to he
didn't have access to his murder garden anymore, where he couldn't burn the body with a tire on.
You know,
top
he
of
could have,
You know
used
what?
acid.
He should have found access to the sewers and then put it in the fucking sewers.
Right.
Why
Just
Why the
imagine-
fuck didn't he just buy some acid? Did he work as a janitor?
No, he worked as a cook in the army.
So, Quinn,
Then
you're
a
telling
police
me right
officer,
now the
and then a
first thing
civil
people
servant.
think when you
So
buy
you
acid
think he would know how to
isn't
get
like fucking,
like
ooh, that guy is
acid?
burning,
He should
like,
know
bodies.
how to dispose of a body.
You'd think, but no, he chopped it up and flushed it down the
I'm
toilet.
just gonna point out with the fact that he was also a cook, so he
The
should know how to
cops
butcher a body.
Didn't want to search his place after they found Sinclair. They were like, oh my god, is there anything else? And that's when he was like, well, there's some in the tea chest, there's some in that box over there, there's some underneath the tub.
There's one under the floor.
There were no floors at this point. He
He
had
finished with the floors.
he didn't have like a big thick floor, so he couldn't hide the bodies. Besides, if that had happened, the body would have leaked through the ceiling of the tenant below him, because he was in the top attic of the building at this point.
So, he's arrested and charged with six counts of murder and 2 attempted murders, and his trial goes on for a while, but he is found guilty. His defense wasn't trying to say he wasn't guilty, they were trying to say he was insane when he murdered everybody, and obviously when you chop people up and you put them into a toilet, the courts go, no, he's sane enough to dispose of the body.
Though in America, he could probably get away with that if he's the gay
No. I think he's got a little bit of sadness in him. There.
I mean, this is premeditated through and through.
Oh, yeah. And
Even
the
if-
defense got two different doctors to diagnose him to try and save him from basically getting life in prison, and the Crown was like, no, 25 to life.
Of course the
Oh, sorry, at one point he also refused to wear the prison jumpsuit before the trial, so he was just naked and not allowed out of his cell.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
This dude's taking us
Innocent.
on a wild fucking ride.
Innocent until proven guilty, but you're making me wear guilty people clothes? No,
I
will
don't wear
not
the guilty
wear your prison
clothes.
jumpsuit.
I
even
want
though-
my
Even though I admitted to killing these people, I'm
with a dead
in-
body in my apartment.
Yeah, with the dead body in the apartment.
And
with the
pointed out
flesh
where I
in the
had put
drains.
the other dead body pieces.
They don't let him out of the. They don't let him out. of the
After
cell
he admitted to putting people down the toilet.
Mhm. That's what I do with all the dead bodies I get. Flush them down the toilet.
Yeah,
he's not the only killer that flushed his victims.
I just want to point out that...
But they all were caught because of that.
Okay, so let's just do a little comparison here. Let's use Green River. Green River took years for Rykart to catch it.
Uh-huh.
The guy literally is a former sheriff who built his entire political career as a Republican on catching Green River.
And took his son on camping trips while he fucked dead bodies, but that's...
Yeah, but let's look at this. Green River is only...
Which I want to make a point. Nilsen only thigh-fucked his bodies.
Thigh-fucked?
Thigh-fucked.
So he dry-fucked those thighs. He dry-fucked. But let's just point out this. Green River killed more people and hid them and specifically targeted them.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson had a compulsion. And somehow got caught when he obviously had the better modus operandi. Because Green River didn't just kill...
if he hadn't moved out of the Melrose place and
he probably would have killed at least another 5 to 6 people.
Yeah, he could have kept on killing for a while.
They probably would have caught him by the early 90s. When,
probably.
Because it would have gotten through to the local magazine.
But yet again, he went after people who you typically wouldn't look for.
Very much so. He
went after vulnerable people.
He went after people no one cared about, and especially during the AIDS epidemic. I mean, let's not even get into how Reagan just ignored it. That he could have easily kept killing, but the fact that he just made the single stupid mistake of I'm gonna flush intestines down the toilet
and fingers
and didn't even bother to
the fingers.
He could have blended them up. He could have
done so much.
I don't think.
But he didn't.
I think when he killed Steven, I think honestly it seems like he was done trying. I think he wanted to get caught. It just seems like he wanted to get caught.
Yeah. So he gets 25 to life, and later on, the Crown goes, "That's not enough. We lied. Life in prison."
Of course, the Crown did it.
Yeah, and he was like,
"Was it the government, or did he actually offend Queen Elizabeth that much?"
She's like, what?
No,
get that bitch out of here!
It was Parliament in general.
Fun fact. Queen Elizabeth has bowls of nuts in different locations in Buckingham Palace, and she found out that some of the guards were eating her nuts. This is a rumor. So she actually took the bowls and put a little light on the inside to note so she could tell when people were eating her nuts. That's how fucking obsessive this woman is. Anyway, so he offended her and got life in prison.
Or some other person in the government, but they were like...
Would it be great if it was Margaret Thatcher? Because then someone could say that's like... It was not
Margaret Thatcher.
That would have been like the one good thing that Margaret Thatcher did.
They gave him life. And he died in 2018. He was having like severe stomach pains, and they figured out he had a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm, which they repaired, and then he had a blood clot and died.
I mean, to be honest...
So they caught this super dangerous thing that, like, oh, you're gonna die. And then he died of, like, a blood clot.
To be honest, that's karma at this point. And
karma would be because his toilet sucked out his insides.
Can you imagine what they would have done to him if he had done this for the medieval ages and they caught him doing it? The either would...
Well, the toilets of the Middle Ages wouldn't get clogged so easily, I would
No, but they would have done... He could have been drawn... I mean, can you imagine? Because, like, during that time they had drawn and quartering where they would hang you, then they would, when you're about to die, they let it go, and then they cut you up, then they cut open your stomach and pull you apart. Talk about, you know...
No, I've never said that.
And people. Well, you see, just like oh, I've done it again. So, what's happening?
Nothing.
Are you reading the chat? We have one guy. There's one guy there.
No, I was looking at something else.
I don't know. But anyway, so that's the story of Dennis Nilsen. Scotland's famous serial killer.
There's tons of Scottish serial killers.
Oh, I'm sure
That's
there are.
strange.
But he's the one that I happened to run across and went, oh my god, he flushed people down the toilet? And went, oh my god, he flushed people
Could you turn that off, please?
I did. I muted
Yeah.
it.
There's my murder podcast.
Oh, sweet. Let's see. How long did we go for?
About
That's
an
not
hour.
bad.
A little over an hour.
That's not bad. Well, I'm going to go put this in a blue crate, and then we're going to be done for the day. Next time we'll try to have a little bit more content. We'll talk about a couple more people, that sort of stuff.
Who do you want to do next time, Kat?
If
Oh,
you
I don't
guys
know.
have any ideas,
I'll discover somebody.
There is
Please
one
let us
guy,
know.
the bikini murderer. What was it?
Oh,
There's this guy, I learned about him through the infographics channel. He was a murderer, but he was a
Whoa, what the
globetrotting
fuck just
murderer.
happened there? That
He
was
would,
weird.
so check this
I
out.
don't know.
Let me look at, he would trick people, he would find random backpackers,
Mm-hmm.
kill them, then assume their identities.
That's not what you do.
I think we eventually do need to talk about some of the Soviet Union murderers. 'Cause
Oh, there's plenty of serial killers to talk about.
in
Or
Soviet Russia, there is no murderers.
No.
What?
No Soviet Russia.
No Soviet Russia.
What are you doing, sir?
I'm pressing every button to see what it does because I got like topsy-turvy turn around. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and save this game. Oh, yeah, just me now. Hold on. Alright.
That was pretty fun, Kat.
So, thank
Go
you.
off on tangents, man.
Thank you for watching. We love you. Love everything. Love everything about you. And stay cabbagey. Bye.